Ladies and gentlemen, live from the famous ACME Comedy Theatre in Hollywood, this is the ACME Radio Hour featuring the Liquid Radio Players. And now, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Gary Ray.
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the ACME Radio Hour presents the Liquid Radio Players. Thank you so much for coming out this evening to see us. I unfortunately have very sad news. We have no scripts tonight, so the show must be canceled. The sad facts are that the script boy who does the deliveries is not him, but he wanted to stop by the zoo on the way here, and the scripts were unfortunately eaten by a goat. So there was no show this evening. But, oh yes, would you like us to stay and create a show out of thin air for you? Well, great. We will improvise the show then. Brian, come back here. Young Brian Habicht, my assistant out here on the stage tonight. What we'll need from you then in order to create tonight's show, which will be a Western, is a title for tonight's show. Just shout out any title of a Western you would like to see us perform tonight that's never been done before on the radio.
When the cold wind blows.
When the cold wind blows. That's very Western sounding. What we need also, folks, are some character names for our show tonight, When the Cold Wind Blows. Can we have, please, the name of a very upright, strong-sounding Western man? Anything at all.
Sheriff Bart.
Sheriff Bart.
Ooh, Sheriff Bart.
Sheriff Bart sounds excellent. Now, in addition to Sheriff Bart, could we have the name of a gentleman-sounding person in the Old West?
Clayton Strange.
Clayton Strange. Very good. Thank you, sir. Also, we will need two ladies for the cast. Can we have, please, the name of a first female character for our Western?
Erica Barnes.
Erica
Barnes.
Barnes? Erica Barnes. Brian spells so nicely. And the second lady, could we have perhaps for our second lady character an exotic name of some sort? Perhaps even Native American Indian name. I'm sorry, what was that? Kaya. Kaya. Spell it how it sounds, Brian. Sound it out. And we need one more name, and I'll let you shout out any name that strikes you. It doesn't matter what it is, man, woman, animal.
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed, yes, excellent.
Kaya Tumbleweed?
Tumbleweed.
Kaya Tumbleweed.
Oh, no, that's an additional name. Brian, try to keep up. Sorry. He's shy, primarily. The last remaining bits of information we need, folks, are two products that will advertise as sponsors for tonight's show. So the first product might be a service or an item you consume around the house or any sort of implement you can think of that's advertised.
Cloth diapers.
Cloth diapers. And can we have your last name, please?
Lambert.
Lambert's Cloth Diapers. And another product or service for our sponsorship tonight, please. What comes to mind? Anything at all? Cold cream. And your first name, madam? Robin. Robin's Cold Cream. Excellent. So we have our two sponsors, Lambert's Cloth Diapers and Robin's Cold Cream, sponsoring tonight's show, our radio western, When the Cold Wind Blows, with Sheriff Bart, Clayton Strange, Erica Barnes, Kaya, and Tumbleweed. Unfortunately, folks, I am sadly not your host this evening. Your host is a most wondrous gentleman, star of radio, going back decades, Mr. Craig St. Tollifson.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Gary Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. Please, I encourage you to use 100% of your imagination tonight. Close your eyes, open your ears, and listen as we're taken back to the Old West, the dust, the tumbleweeds. But we can't just have dust and tumbleweeds, can we? We're going to need a cast, so let's bring our hands together to welcome out the Liquid Radio Players. Some of the finest radio actors today were not available, so tonight we have the Liquid Radio Player. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you may hear a sharp gunshot across the plains. You may also hear a herd of galloping steer. alarmed. You're in no danger. It's the Foley magic of Brian Habicht. Also tonight, you may hear the dulcet tones of the piano player. That will actually be a piano player, Jonathan Green. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show is being broadcast across the airwaves to our men and women overseas and, of course, all of the lonely housewives across America. So I encourage you tonight to applaud in double time, as it will make it sound as if there are more of you. Let's practice that now. Ready, and applause. So many. Why, you've doubled and not gained a pound. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I believe our scripts have been typed up and ready, so they're going to be passed out. And while they're being passed out, I would just like to remind you that tonight's sponsors are Lambert's Cloth Diapers and, of course, Robin's Cold Cream. Lambert's Cloth Diapers. I'm wearing one right now. All right, we're just about ready to start. And I believe we've been given the finger. And 3, 2, 1. The Adventures of Sheriff Bart. Episode number 26 of 27. When the cold wind blows. We catch up with the wiliest sheriff in the West, the man who enforced the law in his own way by bending it, Sheriff Bart, tonight played by special guest Paul Hungerford. Sheriff Bart rides from town to town, taking on whatever town needs law and order. This week, he had been called to Silver City in Nevada, a small community with big, rich banks, where a bank manager was just loading up a coach full of payroll to go to San Diego.
Sheriff, I certainly hope that you guard this with your life.
Of course I will. Of course I will. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. That's a simple ride.
Well, you said nothing to worry about twice, and that makes me worry.
Well, it should. I can't lie to you. I'm not a lying man.
Your upper lip is perspiring.
Well, it's because it's hot.
It was hot. It was steaming hot. The bank manager handed him the shotgun that had been carried by every shotgun man on the stagecoach that had gone so far, none of which had made it to their destination.
Now, as you'll note, it's never been fired, which is most unfortunate because they were shot down in their tracks.
Yes.
And it's made entirely of silver, so it's quite heavy.
Oh, it is quite heavy, and there's an inscription on the side. May he who carries shoot straight. Good word.
It's continued around on the other side as well.
Shoot straight, and may they strike their enemies down. Wow, it's well written.
Perhaps those who had been reading it hadn't had time to actually fire it.
Yes.
Because they were busy reading it.
Yes.
Yeah, the bank manager shook his hand and bid him a fond voyage.
I wish you all the luck in the world.
Just then, the 2 passengers that they would also be carrying came up to the stagecoach from Silver City. Of course, 2 women, Erica Bonds and Kaya, the, of course, Indian princess who had been brought up schooled in settlement camps on the eastern coast as a white woman, but she still had Indian in her blood. And of course, Erica Bonds was her school teacher who was relocating with her progeny to San Diego. They had never been separated.
Well, ladies, it's good to have you both here. I'm looking forward to our travels.
Yes, Sheriff Bart. I know you promise a good trip.
Why now, Kaya, your accent is peeking through. Let's keep it Eastern now, shall we?
I try so hard, Miss Barnes.
I know you do.
You know, Miss Barnes, the plains are not an easy place. A woman who understands the binary load lifters of the Indian plains is usually very helpful.
He had been drinking again, trying to brace his nerves. Speaking nonsense, of course.
What I mean to say is, if we were to run across any Indians, having her along might do us some safety.
Oh, Sheriff, that's just a bunch of naughty-sense nincompoops.
She yanked the chain that she kept Kaya on.
Come along, Kaya, come along.
They loaded themselves into the stagecoach and closed the door, disappearing from view.
Let's go, Tumbleweed. Let's lock this thing up and get moving.
Tumbleweed was the stage driver, of course.
Well, Sheriff, I got the horses all watered and loaded up, but something's gotten them spooked.
Something's gotten spooked, all right. Traveling across these plains with 2 women aboard. Now listen here, Tumbleweed. Stay close and keep this weapon loaded.
Oh, I'll stay close indeed if Maribel the donkey doesn't fail me. Oh, no, you quiet down, Maribel, or you don't get no hugs tonight.
Marigold was tied to the back of the stagecoach and couldn't possibly carry a full stagecoach, so there were normal horses on the front.
Got an important job. Here is the coffee.
Of course, Tumbleweed was considered an old man at 42.
My sciatica's hurting me something terrible.
He reached up his whip high above his head and cracked it,
Yeah, you dozy thing.
and
Yeah.
it blazed off down the trail into the sunset and away from the microphone. Meanwhile, in Snake Gulch, 6 miles east of there, next to a thumb-shaped strata, was one Clayton Strange, the most evil, notorious stagecoach robbing bandit you'd ever heard of. Him and his gang surrounded him in their hideaway in Snake Gulch. Of course, Clayton had already gotten word that they were going to try to send the payroll through once again. He lifted up his chest full of money above his head.
Now take a look at all of this cash.
Yeah. What's the score, Clay? What's the score this time?
Well, there's going to be plenty more where this came from, I tell you.
Senor Strange, that chest looks like it holds many pesos.
This is our take from the last 2 stagecoach robberies. We're going to be taking plenty more than this because I know for a fact that there's a coach bound this way today.
Senor Strange, should I polish your Henry rifle?
Polish it good and shiny. Bip.
Si, senor.
And you, Claudia.
Yeah, Clay, what is it? Do I get to shoot somebody dead this time?
You are the finest sharpshooter in all of the wares.
He had found her on a circus. He had murdered everyone else, including the bearded lady, but only after he kissed her.
I know that nobody can shoot like you do. Show us right now how well you can shoot.
He flung up a bale of silver dollar coins straight up into the air, right into the sun. That didn't bother her one bit. She pulled cross draw.
Stand back and...
She had 2 12 shooters.
That's my name I shot in there. See that?
Yes. You shot right through all of them and you made change, spelling out your name, starting with a C and ending with an A.
That's right. That's what I'm gonna do to anybody what gets in my way.
Well, it was dark, and they were about to head out to their ambush point to set up, right when that stagecoach would have to stop for the night.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the promontory.
What's a promontory?
Well, you'll see when you get there. It's shaped like a thumb.
They mounted up and rode away into the enveloping darkness of the canyon. Ladies and gentlemen, when I need some enveloping darkness on my face, I reach for Robin's cold cream.
Ow, my face is burning! Ow! So hot! So hot! Mary, get a hold of yourself! Oh, this scalding cream! I can't take it anymore, Jeanette.
Oh, Marilyn, look at the bottle. It says scalding cream.
Oh! You think I would have put 2 and 2 together?
Now, it's true. In the past, scalding cream was the most effective cream for removing makeup.
cream man.
Hello, Mr. Robin.
I thought I heard burning dermis.
That's right. I thought I had to lose at least one layer of skin in order to stay youthful and fresh.
Why don't you rub a little bit of this on your face?
Ah, so soothing and, dare I say, cold?
Yes, that's right. That's what the ladies of the 40s do these days, Marilyn.
Why, I want to be a modern girl. I'll rub this Robin's cold cream all over my face.
The next morning,
I feel soothed and younger.
Why, you look porcelain, not burned.
Those scars will fade away in no time, thanks to Robin's cold cream.
Robin's cold cream.
yes, Robin's cold cream. Do away with that old scalding cream and, of course, the old boiling cream. Now try Robin's cold cream. Warning, do not discontinue using. We return to our adventure as Sheriff Bart has finally set up camp. They've drawn the stagecoach in and put the two horses at rein, set up the fire, and we're out relaxing. Found a couple of flat rocks for the ladies, and we're just finishing up their dinner that Tumbleweed had prepared.
Once again, I want to apologize to you all. I forgot the food cart, so it had to be oats for everyone.
Well, that's all right there, Tumbleweed. We understand. Now, you ladies might not be used to it, but you might want to sleep with your shoes on.
Oh, why is that, Sheriff?
Well, you don't want anything crawling in there overnight.
Like what?
Rattlesnakes,
Oh.
scorpions,
Oh.
small vermin.
Oh, I was used to this back when I was with the tribe. Why,
She put a delicate wrist down on the ground, and 3 scorpions crawled on it, kissing her fingers.
yes, this home. and dinner, my, so much better than the squashed bean and tortillas we used to have.
Never seen nothing like it there, Tumbleweed.
Yeah. Speaking of dinner, I'll put these in the pot and save them for breakfast.
Oh,
Sheriff,
They sacrificed the scorpions.
certainly it's chilly night. I hope you don't mind if I sit a trifle closer to you, Sheriff.
And as he reached his arm out to clear away the blanket next to him, she saw a long scar on his forearm. Certainly, there was a story behind that.
Oh, why, Sheriff, that masculine scar. I don't want to intrude, but I am curious.
It was just then that the cold night wind blew.
Something I don't like talking about too much, Erica, but
Maybe
I'll only say this. It was a long war, and that's a long scar from a long war.
Oh, Sheriff, don't you want to talk about it? You got that from General Ambrose Burnside.
General Ambrose Burnside, you're right. You know I don't like hearing the name, Tumbleweed, but I'll tell you the story. He was doing things out there that were un-American.
just then
Uncivilized.
two shots were fired.
Rude. Now that I've come up with the idea.
Oh,
Down, get down, down! Get down!
Get me in the bread pan!
They were under attack.
All right, get behind the horses. Come over here.
Sheriff Bart pulled out the silver shotgun and ducked down along with Kaya. Meanwhile, Tumbleweed grabbed Erica Bonds and flung themselves into the stagecoach for protection.
Kaya, listen to me. Can you make out where they're coming from?
yes, they are coming north from when the wind blows through the trees, where the coyote howls its howl.
Good, that's perfect.
Just then he heard a voice echoing through the narrow plains where they had camped out.
Now listen here. This is great and strange. And I'm here to take whatever you have. And it better be plenty.
While he was talking, Sheriff Bart had carefully lowered and aimed his rifle.
Still now. Kaya, still. Cover your ears.
What?
I think I've got him in my sights.
He saw a glinting in the moonlight.
There he is!
And I've got you in my sights. Sheriff.
Erica Barnes.
Yeah, Erica Bond. She's in the stagecoach.
Oh!
His eyesight wasn't what it
Curses!
used to be, of course. That was
My name's Claudia.
Claudia, yes.
Claudia. Some people call me Claudine.
Yeah, well, you smell like a lady.
He
Yeah, I
had,
might smell like a lady, but I shoot like a man.
A lady with a shotgun.
he had been flanked, just like a steak.
Put down your weapon.
He slowly lowered it to the ground and turned around with his hands up, and another figure came out of the darkness, another of the hooligans, and, of course, Clayton Strange. Sheriff Bart, he knew exactly who he was.
I'm Sheriff Buck. What do you want with me?
Why don't you know who I am, Barty boy?
Clayton Strange. How could I miss you?
Of course, he looked at his face, and the way his ears were higher than a normal person's.
Your ears are higher than a normal person's.
They always have been and always will be.
That's right. That's how come he can stay one step ahead of people like you.
Why don't you keep your dog quiet?
Hey!
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 While they
I
were
hear
talking,
rules.
they had failed to notice that the stagecoach had silently rolled away.
Hey! Your rig seems to be rolling down the hill toward the gulch.
It's rolling. It's rolling away from you, Clayton Strange.
Do you think that's going to stop me? You're wrong. I've taken many a stagecoach out of the gulch.
I'm on it, Clayton. I'm getting it.
Meanwhile, inside the stagecoach, the speed of the coach started to get faster and faster. But Tumbleweed had no way to control it from the inside.
Oh, Miss Tumbleweed, are you quite sure we're safe?
I don't know what's going on. They didn't put a front window on this thing.
Suddenly it became still, and their weight became less, as if they were flying through mid-air. We'll return to this scene in a few minutes because they might have use for Lambert's cloth diaper.
Oh, well, none of this here makes sense.
Now, Mr. Jones, you've just had a baby, so you're overwrought.
Yeah, I'll say. I can't figure out which end is up.
Well, it's clear to me that you want to be looking your baby in the eye.
Oh.
Now, you'll have to take this bit, put it over that bit.
Yes.
Take this pin, watch your finger now.
Ow!
Okay, now put your finger in your mouth, suck the blood off. There you go. All the while keeping eye contact with little baby.
Got it.
Last pin, and there you are.
A man changing a diaper? Could it be that simple?
It is when you use a Lambert's.
Oh, I can see the diagram now.
That's right. Comes in every package. Now, it's just, you can also tattoo it on the baby's tummy.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I'll just get this marker over here. There we
Marker?
go.
Oh, darling, I'll take it from here. Why, you actually did it right this time.
Thanks to Lambert's cloth diapers.
And baby's smiling too, see?
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. And thanks, Lambert's cloth diapers.
Lambert's cloth diapers, the only diapers made for a man. Now with the sports page. Ladies and gentlemen, we return to our harrowing adventure in the West. Hours later, as of course, Clayton Strange had rounded up Sheriff Bart and Kaya and taken them hostage back at his hideout. Why, they had lost sight of the stagecoach, and they were going to find it, but only by holding them hostage somehow.
Just so we get a couple of things clear here, Strange.
Well, the first thing to get clear is that I'm giving the orders.
All right. That's the way you want it.
Now, tell me what you had to say.
No,
I'll be
that's
really
fine.
interested
You go
to
ahead,
hear what
keep
you
going.
say. You amuse me.
He slapped him as he was strapped into the chair of the shack that he had built in his hideaway.
You've got remarkably late reactions to things.
Sheriff Bart, my Indian senses say this man is bad.
Hey, enough of these talking! Donde está the dinero?
Oh,
Why don't you take that cigar you're smoking there, Pedro, and on, they baby.
Don't you touch her. Keep your hands away from her.
He struggled in his bonds, but couldn't get free.
Don't worry, it's only going to hurt mucho.
He lowered the cigar into her arm, and her primal nerve was struck. Why, all of the education flew out of her. She was 100% wild Injun now.
How did she suddenly get it?
10 times stronger than a white man.
There.
Kyle, run for it. Don't wait, run for it.
She snapped her ropes like they were twine.
I will run with the eagles.
She trampled over Pedro.
Hey, somebody hit me in the breadbasket.
Flew out the window like a monkey.
Don't think that's going to save your neck, Bob. Because you're done for. Once I get that money out of the gulch, I'm going to put you in the gulch, underneath the stagecoach.
Good luck finding the stagecoach, Strange.
Well, I know where it is. I've been in this gulch before.
Lived there most of his life. But that was another story. Clayton Strange made his way out of the cabin, leaving Sheriff Bart with Pedro.
Yes. So you're not feeling too powerful now, are you, Sheriff?
He lit another cigar.
This stogie is muy bueno.
Let's get something straight, Pedro. One ash comes within 1 inch of this person. And I'm gonna make you wish you'd never left Mexico.
I did not know you were so sensitive. Maybe now I won't give you a shot of my tequila.
You can go ahead and use all the tequila you want. There's one thing that's not gonna happen tonight. You're not gonna lay one finger on me.
And he knew that because he had freed his wrists.
And Strange is never getting a hold of that dough.
Adios, mío!
Meanwhile, at the bottom of the gulch, the wagon with a wrecked front wheel lay as 2 individuals inside came awake from unconsciousness, sprawled on top of each other.
Where am I?
It was just like a dream.
Move your hand.
I'm sorry, I never grabbed a lady like that in my life. Glad I just had a bath.
Where are we, Mr. Tumbleweed?
He opened the door. The car had turned on its side, so he peeked out of it like he was looking up from a hole like a groundhog.
Why, this looks like Catfish Alley, right next to the Indian reservation.
Oh, dear. Are we in danger?
I don't know. How's your ungla nook?
How's your Uncle Nook indeed? It was then that a shot rung out. A very Anglo-Saxon shot straight above his head. Why, they looked quickly where the shot had come.
Why, that's a white man's bullet.
Not a white man, a white woman, Claudia Dean.
Guess again, mister. Yeah, that's right. I'm all woman and all sharp shots.
She popped up from behind a series of boulders.
A woman with a gun? What's this country become?
That's right, and don't underestimate me. Because I can take your hat off and put it back on your head.
She did it to demonstrate.
With my gun.
Oh! Whoa. Either I'm scared crapless or I'm in love.
But his waist was still in the carriage, where his right hand was nervously clenching the old pistol he carried.
Now don't you get any ideas, mister. I know you're in there with a sack full of dough. I'm here for the dough. I ain't here to hurt nobody unless I have to.
But
Say,
that's-
who's the dame?
Dame?
The dame!
The dame popped out of the coach as well, with her hands high above her head. She was terrified.
Don't shoot me! Don't shoot! Why, you're a girl! What?
I know it's shocking, ain't it, Missy?
Yeah, I'm a girl. What's it to you?
There was only one way out of this. Tumbleweed's aim wasn't sure enough. Why, Erica Barnes would have to educate her way out of this.
Now listen here, young lady. You've obviously not been raised properly. I know a thing or two. I can help you. I can school you a bit. Why, have you ever had a gentleman pay you any attention? I don't need no gentleman. That's for little girls and sissies.
down and couldn't resist, just jumping on Tumbleweed and wrestling with him.
Boy, get your dirty brown hands off of me! Dirty brown hands! Dirty brown hands! You heard me, you stinky bandito! Dirty brown hands! I saw your dirty brown hands! Oh, my bread basket! My bread basket too!
Meanwhile,
Stop it, both of you!
Erica Barnes got everyone's attention with his school mom voice.
Sit up straight!
What?
That's right, I said sit up straight!
Just as Pedro sat up ramrod straight by instinct, just straight enough for the engine arrow to pierce his heart. They looked up at the ridge where the arrow had come from, and there was dozens of engines.
Mr. Tumbleweed, I think we're suddenly in even more danger than we were before, if that's possible.
Oh, I tell you, the name of this creek ain't Catfish no more. It's another kind of creek we're up.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Meanwhile, further up the trail, Clayton Strange was following the tracks as they careened down the gulch, and he had just arrived at the edge of the gulch in time to see the stagecoach strong box and 3 figures being taken away by a crowd of engines. He scratched at his chin and rubbed at his gun.
It's not like I've never been in a predicament like this before. There was that time when there was an entire tribe of Paiute, and the other time when there was an entire tribe of some other tribe. My naming for tribes is escaping me right now.
Lost in his reverie, he didn't notice Sheriff Bart had prowled up behind him like the coyote that he is.
Well, if I could just ease my way around the edge.
Suddenly, Clayton Strange felt something long and cold at his neck.
Well, that feels exactly like
A silver shotgun. That's right, Strange. Like I said, it was only a matter of time before I got a hold of you.
I tell you what, Sheriff. It's not like I haven't made a deal with the law before. Why don't you and I go into business together? You be the inside man, I'll be the outside man.
He explained what he had seen. The crowd of Angloquan Indians taking away the strongbox and their friends.
With your silver rifle, you can take out half that tribe in an instant. And you and I can make off with the proceeds.
Sure, Strange, sure.
But how would they get inside the tribe campgrounds? They looked around and saw an Indian blanket and a downed eagle.
With these tail feathers, that blanket, and some of this mud, you'll make a mighty fine chief.
Not a bad idea, Strange.
Sheriff Bart climbed on Clayton Strange's shoulders.
We'll be a very tall medicine man.
All right. My knowledge of their ways and language should make it easy.
Just as long as you don't do one thing, and that is double-cross me.
Double-crossing? Not in my DNA.
They held guns pointed at each other under the blankets. Meanwhile, later that night, around the wampum tent, the captives were tied up next to a boiling kettle of water, which was the tradition of the Algonquins. And suddenly the wampum tent opened and a single figure, a wild, especially wild figure entered. But there was something eerily familiar to Erica Barnes about this one. Why, it was the hat pin she had.
Kaya? Is that you? Kaya? Miss Barnes. Yes. Why have you forgotten me? You've gone full engine again. Yes. Yes. Something in me, something very real, like fire, like wind. The truth has come. Oh, here, let me unbind you. No. Kaya, listen to me. Listen to me. We need your help. Yes. Finish untying us. Then you've got to help us get out of here, or else we're going to be dinner. Miss Barnes, I know you will not believe this, but I am the sharpest shooter of the Algonquin tribe. Yes, a lady. Do you think you can outshoot that other girl with the gun? I have pierced bullets with my bow and arrows. Excellent.
She lifted her bow and arrow to her eye, pulled it back, and fired the arrow straight at Claudine, murdering her.
God! I didn't even get to say anything else.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that was sporting. But then again, all civilization has kind of disappeared out of here.
It was then that the Indian chant started getting louder and louder from the outside. Certainly the chief would be by any second.
Quick! With the one last ounce of culture left in me! Here! Run! Run! Take this Arabian horse and run! Come, Mr. Tumbleweed, come! Kaya, I won't forget this! I won't forget you! Woo! Remember to wear spirits!
And just then, on the other side of the wampum tent, a strangely tall medicine man was confronting Chief Wigganoogle. And, of course, the Indian princess, Kaya. The sheriff's Algonquin seemed to pass. Of course, the chief
Speak truth.
I think you got him on the run.
Why was his crotch talking, the chief?
Maybe you eat bad buffalo. Humble from breadbasket.
Breadbasket, fine.
He
Any
led,
days on land.
and they walked along, and the chief opened the tent to the wampum tent, seeing that his captives were gone.
Where? Woman, where? Scruffy man.
Must have escaped.
Where wampum?
Trail.
Well, there was only one thing to do. Sheriff Bart and Clayton Strange exchanged a look underneath the blanket, nodded, pulled out their guns, and started firing at the Indians.
I'm shooting right from here, right from between your legs.
Don't try to wound them.
Why you shoot at me? You drive me from homeland. Make me live next to thumb-shaped rock. Why shoot me now?
He threw the smallpox-infected blanket on top of it.
No! Oh, me no resistance. Me peaceful ways, no fight for germ.
Look out, Sheriff, that girl's got an arrow. She's drawing back in the bow.
Kaya.
I will shoot you in belly!
Kaya. Where have Erica and Tumbleweed gone?
You're double-crossing me.
It's not a double cross if I was never on your side, Clayton.
He twisted his legs.
Me kill! Flint knife throw! Now!
That's right, Strange. One wrong move and the engine's gonna get you.
It was an odd choice for the Indian to pick a side, but he did. And he held the blanket was off, the plot was revealed, the Indian had held him exactly where he wanted him.
And if you think you're going to take me back to jail, you've got another thing coming.
That's right, because Clayton Strange had lived in this gulch all his life, and he knew exactly the Indian words to say.
Uncle Mabuto.
Matumbe Matubo!
No matter!
Oh!
They had called a truce.
You see, yes, I've lived in this gulch my entire life, and that's because I'm of this tribe.
He removed his hat, showing that his abnormally long ears were in fact feathers. It was an elaborate headdress that made him seem strange.
I was only going to take this money and further my tribe's existence because of you people who have kept us under your big thumbs.
A single tear ran down Sheriff Bart's cheek.
This land is precious. Important. We should work together.
Yes, we take money, build gambling house. All welcome. Loosest tables in town.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings to a close tonight's adventure, When the Cold Wind Blows! Tonight's episode stars Kimberly Lewis, Marissa Afanador, Gary Ray, Michael Perkins, Paul Hungerford, Brian Habicht on FOLEY, Jonathan Green on keyboard. My name is Craig Tollifson. Good night and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.